course, the time when families gathered together all over Britain to celebrate the birth of our Lord by getting absolutely and utterly blotto. And that's a very good thing, because Jesus himself, his first miracle was a wedding at Cana, as described in John chapter 3 or 4 or something, in which he took 3 casks of water, each containing 20 to 30 gallons, and then turned them all into wine, which is still a viticultural record. And I think that we should drink to that, or I'm prepared to Jesus' winemaking. But Jesus was a man to turn down a drink, just occasionally. Before Jesus was crucified, he was offered wormwood and gall, and he turned it down. And a lot of people think wormwood and gall was just some sort of insult, the same as the beating and the dividing up the clothes and all that sort of stuff. But in fact, it wasn't. Wormwood and gall, wormwood is of course just the herb wormwood, but gall was sour white wine, which was the legionary standard ration. And the thing is, if you put wormwood, the herb, into alcohol, it releases a chemical called thejone, which is, chemically speaking, pretty much the same as tetrahydrocanninable, which is the active ingredient in marijuana. So it acts as a painkiller. Because even the Romans thought crucifixion was a little bit barbaric, and they wanted to take a bit of the pain away. But because Jesus was suffering for the sins of all mankind, he could not take the painkiller, and that's why he turns down the wormwood and gall, which means that vermouth is a thoroughly unreligious drink. And the reason for that is that the ancient Germans also knew about the pain-killing properties of wormwood, and indeed when they put it into wine or beer or whatever it was that they put it into, they realised that it gave a man courage. So they called the drink Wermut, which is ancient German for man courage. That's Wer as in werewolf, and Mut as in modern English mood. And therefore, Wermut wine, which was exported, the idea of it was exported from Germany to France, became known as Vermouth in France. And you can still buy vermouth in the shops today, and it's wormwood and gall. This is the stuff, not Noilly Prouse specifically, but this is the stuff that Jesus was offered on the cross, or just before he got on the cross, and turned down in order that he could properly suffer for the sins of mankind, for which we should all be grateful. And so, here's to Jesus and Christmas. Now, it may appear here that I am mixing my drinks. A lot of people say that I mix my drinks, but I, as an etymologist, know that I'm not really mixing my drinks. For example, take port and take Madeira. Okay, now you might think that mixing those two was mixing your drinks, but port is, the name port is actually just derived from the city of Oporto in Portugal, and Madeira is similarly named after the Madeira Islands, which are also part of Portugal, the Madeira archipelago. Madeira wine became popular when explorers in the age of exploration, when people would stop off there as the last gasp saloon of choice. So if you mix these, all you're really doing is just mixing, you know, one bit of Portugal with another, and that's not really mixing, it's all Portuguese. So, etymologically speaking, not mixing your drinks at all. Now, the same etymological thing goes for mixing wine and brandy, because brandy was originally brandy wine. That's where Tolkien got the name of the river that the elves swim in or something. But brandy wine, like this, and just plain old wine, same thing etymologically speaking, or it's burnt wine and wine. I mean, burning doesn't really change what a drink is, I don't think. And, well, I don't think doesn't really count. So etymologically, this is not mixing my drinks. Safe as houses. Now, a lot of people will tell you, a lot of people, doctors and the like, I don't trust doctors, a lot of people will tell you, look, everything I'm saying is absolute balderdash, but I know what balderdash really is. See, etymologically speaking, balderdash isn't rubbish. Balderdash, back in the 16th, 17th century sorts of things, publicans and sinners, he came to help the publicans and sinners. But publicans, they would cut their wine with beer in order to, you know, knock it off cheaper and make a profit. It's a terribly dishonest thing, and it tastes, I believe, pretty terrible. But people would call this mixture of wine, hello wine, and beer, hello beer. They would call this knock-down, low-class good balderdash. So when people say that I'm talking complete balderdash, I say to them, balderdash.
for the